Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife. And over the course of our channel, we have done lots of tag videos, we've done lots of ranking videos, we've done lots of like this or that videos. Yep. One thing we've never done though is overrated or underrated.
Right.
And so we actually want to do a number of these here on our channel over the next who knows how long. But we thought, you know what, let's start with something that is near and dear to our heart. Disney. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Disney things that we think are either overrated or underrated.
We came up with a list of 15 things with the help of some friends, and we are going to tell you whether we think they are overrated or underrated and why.
So I want to say from the beginning, I know that there are things that we're going to say in this video that are going to upset people.
You're probably going to disagree, and that's okay.
This is YouTube. Calm down. Okay? Like,
we're entitled to our opinion, as are you, and you're allowed to disagree with us.
And here's what I think is important to know. Just because we think something may be overrated doesn't mean we think it's bad.
Correct.
We just think it may not live up to the hype.
Right.
So keep that in mind. We're all going to be friends. We're going to be friendly. We're going to get along, and we're all going to love each other.
Yeah.
Probably not, but it's okay. So Sherri, I want to start with what I think could be the most controversial of all of these. This is one of the things, and we've made comments in past videos about some feelings we may have about this. And people have asked us, I want to know your feelings. I want to know your thoughts. Just so you know, we're not going to give you
the full overview.
The full review.
Right.
However, I want to start on the very first one, which is the Disney Wish, the new cruise ship from Disney Cruise Line releasing summer 2022. Sherri, the Disney Wish, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
I completely agree. Okay, now listen. You guys know we love Disney Cruise Line. Every Disney cruise we've gone on, we have paid for ourselves. We've spent thousands and thousands.
And we love them.
And we love them. However, some of the concerns, can I touch on some of them?
Let's talk about them.
Some of the concerns I have about the Disney Wish. Number one, it's a new ship, cool ship, that's awesome. My biggest concern, if I have to keep it to one thing, is that it is a very, very different Disney cruise ship than the rest of them, which maybe it needed to be. I don't know. There are some things about the Wish I love. My biggest concern is that it is doing 3 and 4 night itineraries, and here's my issue with that. If you've gone on a 3 and 4 night cruise, and you've also gone on longer cruises, 7 nights or longer, the feeling on the ship is dramatically different.
Yes.
In 3 and 4 night cruises, it feels almost
rushed.
It feels rushed because everybody's trying to get as much in as possible. And then you add that feeling to a ship where now there is more to do and everything is new.
There's more to do and less time to do it.
It sounds so stressful to me.
It doesn't sound like a relaxing vacation to me, and the fact that it's also a lot more expensive.
That will change with time, probably.
Right, but for the time being, I don't really think that I want to cruise on it.
I would rather have a 5 or 6 day cruise on the Magic, or honestly, any of the other ships, than a 3 or 4 night cruise on the new one.
Correct.
So to me, do I think the Wish is going to be terrible? No. I have no doubt.
I'm sure it'll be a great time. Someday
we're going to sail on the Disney Wish and we'll probably say, you know what? There was a lot more on that we liked than we expected. But as of now, I just think it's overrated.
Same.
Everybody just left. There's literally 3 people still watching. So to you 3, I just want to say thanks for hanging out with us. It's nice that you're here.
The next one might lose the rest of them.
That's true. You 3 are about to be really mad at us.
Frozen.
Okay. Overrated or underrated?
Over. Now again, I'm not saying I don't like Frozen. I do love Frozen. However, I think that every single person on planet Earth losing their minds over Frozen for years is maybe a bit much. Especially when there's other movies that have come out around the same time.
Oh, we're going to get into that later. Don't get me started, Sherri.
That were just as good, if not better than Frozen, and everybody lost their minds for everything related to Frozen. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's overrated for the amount of hype that it got and is continuing to get.
Would you like to hear my opinion?
Your turn.
Overrated. Exact same reason. Here's the thing. I love Frozen.
I do.
Olaf to me is one of like the most amazing Disney characters. I love Olaf. I have watched Frozen multiple times and I will watch it multiple more.
Right.
But it for sure felt like it took over the whole world.
It did. It
Yeah.
was everywhere.
So I agree with you. When it comes to the hype of Frozen, it is overrated.
Yep.
Literally no one. Maybe my mom. Mom, I just want to say I love you. Like, how are you? You doing good? Thanks for watching, Mom. What if even my mom is gone? She's like,
yeah, no.
Nope. All right.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
then, now we've talked about 2 overrated ones.
Yep.
So we're gonna change the tone a little bit.
Yeah.
I do want to just full honesty. When we sat down and wrote this list, we realized that like they were all overrated.
It was really easy to come up with overrated things, and we struggled a little bit with the underrated, but we did come up with some things that we think are underrated.
Like this next one, and I've given it away a little bit. This is what we think should be considered one of the better Disney movies, and even Disney movie franchises.
Yep.
That for whatever reason, like people just don't talk about.
Because the original and the sequel are phenomenal.
What are they?
The Rescuers.
And the Rescuers Down Under. Mm-hmm. They're so good.
They're so good, and I mean the first one is amazing, and then the second one for a sequel is amazing.
Yeah.
Like the sequel is just as good as the original.
That's actually what I was gonna say.
And which is not something that Disney does well usually. The sequels are usually not great. So the sequel, the Rescuers Down Under, is so good.
Yeah. Rescuers underrated.
I know, Bernard and Bianca, I love them.
Dramatically underrated, I think.
Yeah.
So the next one is the next one may surprise people.
Yeah.
This is one of the most iconic Disney snacks, a Disney treat.
Yeah.
It is the delicious, wonderful, amazing, refreshingly spectacular Dole Whip. And if you don't know what a Dole Whip is, well, you know what? First, I'll get into that in a second. The Dole Whip, Sherri. What do you think? Overrated or underrated?
I've always felt like it was overrated. I rarely get one of my own. I will usually have a few bites of his because I'm just like, cool, I'm good.
If you have watched our channel, you know my love for the Disney Dole Whip.
I know. You do love it.
I love it.
However.
I love how refreshing it is because Disney parks are in hot locations, and so on a warm day when I'm sweating my giblets off, I'm allowed to say giblets, right? Okay, we're good. Then it's just
There's
like
nobody else watching. So.
it's just us. It's just refreshing and cool, and the pineapple. So essentially what it is it's pineapple soft serve. And here's why I'm going to surprise people, and I'm actually going to say the Disney Dole Whip is overrated. It's just pineapple soft serve. Like, that's my thing, is like, is it good? Absolutely. Is it refreshing? Absolutely.
Is it worth an hour wait in line?
Have I lost my mind over the Disney Dole Whip at times? Without a doubt. But at the end of the day, I do still feel like it's just pineapple soft serve.
Right.
It's refreshing and delicious and awesome, but I do think it's actually kind of overrated, and I myself have even overrated it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Man.
Even, this is the part of the video when I would have just left. Like, if I was watching, I'm like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Click.
Okay, this next one might surprise some people as well.
That's true, it may. Stitch from the amazing Disney movie Lilo and Stitch that I love. Mm-hmm. So we're talking specifically about the character Stitch. Sherri, overrated or underrated?
For the hype and for him being everywhere, a little overrated.
Okay.
I love Lilo and Stitch.
Yep.
I love Stitch as a character. I don't understand why Stitch is everywhere.
So
He's a crazy alien. That's what he is. Like, I don't understand why everybody loses their minds over anything related to Stitch.
So I agree. I think overrated. And here's what's confusing to me is it felt to me like the Stitch resurgence kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like Lilo and Stitch, again, great movie. I love that movie. I love Stitch as a character. But it felt like all of a sudden Stitch was everywhere. And I'm like, did I miss something?
And of the characters in that movie, why Stitch?
I don't know. I think of the characters in the movie, I understand why it's Stitch. I just feel like Stitch is everywhere, and there's so many other characters that are not.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing.
Agreed.
This is a recent Disney craze that I watched unfold online, and I thought, am I living in a different universe? Let's talk about the Figment popcorn bucket. Came out recently, and I thought, oh, there might be a dozen people that want that. And then all of a sudden my Twitter feed blows up and my Instagram feed blows up with these hours-long wait for the Figment popcorn bucket. Overrated or underrated?
Extremely overrated. Anything Figment related is overrated.
Yeah, neither of us are real big Figment fans.
I don't get it.
But you also feel, I'm going to stretch this a little bit, you feel the popcorn buckets in general are overrated.
Yep, I sure do. I have one literally right here behind me that I adore. If it had just been a lamp, it would have been perfectly fine. One. The fact that it's a popcorn bucket, I don't understand. Who the hell is using it as a popcorn bucket? And any of them. Who's using them as popcorn buckets? Who is walking around the park with this massive thing with 2 kernels of popcorn in it because the inside of it is not very big? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Okay, you went hard at the popcorn buckets.
I'm really sorry.
No, I didn't.
But maybe somebody can explain it to me because it does not make sense to me.
I think they're adorable. I actually was going to say, I think popcorn buckets in general are underrated, with the exception of the Figment. The Figment one, I just don't get at all. Because
I don't understand. So we have this one, and then we have the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, the Millennium Falcon one is the worst popcorn bucket design.
You can fit 2 pieces of popcorn in this tiny little, why? And it was $25.
And I have like bare hands, and so trying to if I put my hand down to get popcorn, my hand is stuck with that on my hand.
It's cool as I would have spent $25 on it as just a display.
Toy, a display piece.
The fact that it now has the little hooks on it with this stupid lanyard, I don't understand. Who is carrying this around the parks? Literally nobody, not one single person, and I don't get it.
This video is changed. It's going so much different than I expected.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I want to see your passion for and against things. We're seeing a lot of the against.
Yeah, this next one isn't going to be.
I was just going to say it doesn't get better. And some people may be very surprised at this because you have a lot of these.
I do.
Spirit jerseys.
Spirit jerseys.
Underrated or overrated?
Over. And here's why. Again, I have a bunch. And so
And you wear them a lot.
And I wear them a lot. But it is $80 for a long sleeve t-shirt. That's what it is. Let's be really, it's a t-shirt.
This is my favorite video. Long sleeves. We have filmed in so long. I'm so happy right now.
And some glitter. I don't understand why they're $80. And I do love them, but it kills me every time. And I also feel like, we talked about this for a second, I feel like they are made for a very specific body shape, which is not my body shape. They have them in all sizes, which is great, but I feel like it's made for a very straight body. If you have any curves, it's not going to fit the way that it is supposed to fit.
The way it's supposed to kind of just fall in spaces.
Right.
Sure.
And I don't like that either. So, and it's usually very rigid material that doesn't move.
Yeah, they're not soft.
Right.
Yeah.
So while I have a bunch and I wear them, the price and the shape of them is, I have gotten pickier with the ones that I'm buying now because I'm just unless I really love the design, it's $80 for a t-shirt. Sorry, do you have input?
Doesn't matter if I do or not. I would agree with you. The price to me is what makes them overrated because you're right. It's $80 for a long sleeve, for a heavyweight long sleeve t-shirt. Yeah. Now, here's the thing I will say. I do want to defend Spirit jerseys a little bit. Okay. I appreciate how creative Disney has been when it comes to the designs. They have Spirit jersey designs for everything. Some of them I think are super lame. A lot of them I think are super cool. If you watched my Disney Springs video from, I don't know, recently.
The Star Wars
one was really cool. And so I do appreciate the different designs of things, but I do agree with you. The price, if those were, if they were $59.99, maybe $64.99, I can justify this.
Sort of.
It's getting to the place now where it's it's hard to justify.
It's hard to justify, and I don't know.
Can we talk about, we need to go positive.
Yep.
For a couple of reasons. I'm concerned you're going to pass out. I think just right over.
I got lots of passion.
You do, and I love it. Disney resorts.
Overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated? You want to hear from me?
Yeah.
I actually think Disney resorts are underrated. Now, and I want to explain this. What I mean when I say that is I have, over the last 3 years, when you think of Disney parks, Disney resorts, and Disney Cruise Line, I have enjoyed Disney Cruise Line the first, resorts second, parks a very, very distant third. I believe that you can have a spectacular, again, thank you to Auburn. I feel like we need to mention this in every single video where we talk about the resorts, because Sherri and I mentioned this I think last year or the year before we'd ever stayed at a Disney resort. I'd hear about people like resort hopping and like just touring resorts, and I thought, it's like a hotel. Like, why would you do that? It's Disney. Like, go to a park, go on a cruise, like, you're going to a hotel.
Right.
Until we started going to them, and I started like seeing all of the things that are beautiful and amazing and immersive and wonderful about the resorts. And so on this last trip, my team and I, we went to Disney Springs, we did the Skyliner, we did some resorts, and my team felt like they had a really spectacular Disney day, and we didn't pay admission for anything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love about the resorts, is that I get a big dose of Disney creativity. I get a big dose of Disney magic. I can sit down and have a great meal. I can sit down and have a great drink. I can look at these beautifully designed buildings. And the only thing I did was maybe pay for parking. I love that.
Right.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And so to me, I think the resorts are underrated. Thoughts?
Same.
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 Okay, there we go.
I agree.
The next one.
Yeah.
This one surprised me because you recommended this.
Yeah.
Mickey ears. Sherri, Mickey ears, overrated or underrated?
Overrated. And again, I own thousands of pairs. And I get
Not thousands.
Not thousands.
She has like just over 50. Oh yeah.
I own a lot.
I just instantly was like, what? Oh no.
What? Okay, I own a lot. I own a lot of like
The Disney ones.
Disney
Yeah.
ears that I bought at the parks or from Shop Disney or whatever. But I think especially in the last few years, the price has gone up and the quality has nosedived. It hasn't just like dipped a little bit, like it's just like plummeted. I feel like the quality in not all of them, but in quite a few of them, it seems like the quality is just not there. Like cheap plastic, and they just don't, they're not cute. Like, I don't know who's designing them anymore. Not great. And like, I certainly, especially with the price going up, I certainly don't want to spend that money. And so I just feel like the Disney ears are not great anymore.
I would agree, actually.
For the most part. There are a few that are cute. But
designs
like,
that are adorable.
They're hard to come by.
I actually wish that Disney was putting as much creativity into ear designs as they are Spirit jersey designs. Because I feel like, man, I see a ton of Spirit jerseys that are like, that's a dope design. And I just don't see a ton of them. Now, some of them I do think are spectacular. I gotta say, I think the Betsy Johnson ears that I got you, those ears, like, I think those are...
Okay, but Disney didn't design them.
Well, that's true, Betsy Johnson. Okay, good point.
They're Betsy Johnson.
So maybe Disney needs to outsource more ear designs.
Maybe.
So Disney ears, both of us, underrated.
Overrated.
That's the one. The next one.
Yep.
This might be my moment to get passionate.
Yeah.
What is it?
Big Hero 6. If you've been around our channel at all, you're gonna know we think this is extremely underrated.
This actually wasn't even planned. Do I think Big Hero 6 is underrated? You bet your butts I do. Also, thanks, Sarah. I love this so much. I'm excited to find a place in the house for it. I love it. I have it right here on my desk. I look at it. It makes me so happy. Okay, listen. Big Hero 6 came out. It's actually did, if you look at box office numbers, huge commercial success.
Yeah.
It wins the Academy Award. Only a handful of Disney movies have ever done that.
Yep.
And so it really is checking a lot of boxes. It is a feel-good story. Baymax is an unbelievably lovable character.
All of the characters are great, but Baymax is standout.
Phenomenal. But what happened, this leads into
Adam, what happened?
This leads into my hatred for Frozen. Frozen was released. And Frozen...
You don't hate Frozen.
No. This leads to... I hate Frozen for this. Once Frozen was released, it took over everything, and Big Hero 6 got left in the dust.
It completely buried the genius that is Big Hero 6.
And, like, the commercial success and the award. Like, Big Hero 6 checked all of the boxes to be one of those, like, classic, iconic Disney movies, and Frozen was just such a big... merch grab, money cash cow, that it overshadowed Big Hero 6.
Right.
So Big Hero 6 to me, even though Academy Award, even though commercial success, it's hugely underrated. Now I am very excited for the new series to come out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I think that's cool they're doing that. But Big Hero 6 is, to me, just it got left in the shadow of a movie that is not nearly as good as it.
Correct. And I think a big part of what made Frozen so... We're going to go back to Frozen for just a second. I think a big part of what made it so successful, I guess, is all of the merch. It was a merch grab.
Totally.
It was everything was vomited Frozen, and so everybody had to watch it, and it's the best movie ever in the history of ever because there's Frozen merch everywhere. It's not the best movie ever. Like, it's good, but it's not better than everything else that's come out. So
Also, on the Disney Wish, Disney, you can't give me a San Francisco themed sushi bar. You can't. It's so easy. It's right there. I'm giving you these ideas. San Francisco themed sushi. I can't get good sushi.
I don't understand.
Anyway, let's
Get
move
it together.
on.
Okay.
The next thing, Joffrey Coffee. Joffrey, a coffee company tied closely to Disney. They have location in Disney Springs.
Coffee? We love coffee?
We love coffee. Love coffee. When I was at Disney Springs just recently, I bought the bag of the 50th anniversary Disney World Coffee Blend. Mm-hmm. I brought it home, and without Sherri knowing, I switched the coffee in our coffee pot yesterday morning, brewed a fresh pot of coffee, Disney World Joffrey coffee. Sherri comes home from work, and what was the first thing you said to me?
What kind of coffee did you put in there? Because it's terrible.
Literally her first words. Not like, hey, it's nice to see you,
It was really
husband.
bad. Could we not use that again?
That's what it was. So and I actually said this in the Disney Springs video, I think. I've never been a fan of Joffrey coffee. I just think it is...
It's very burnt. It's very bitter.
It's not a good coffee.
It's not a good coffee. And I don't feel like it's that difficult to make a good coffee.
Totally.
And you're Disney, you can make a good coffee.
Yeah, or tie yourself with a good coffee brand.
Or tie yourself with a good coffee brand.
It's just bad.
It's not. It's not good.
It's just bad. All right, the next one. Mm-hmm. The Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack. Specifically the soundtrack. The movie in general, spectacular, amazing, wonderful, underrated. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack, though. What do you think?
In my opinion, the best soundtrack Disney has ever put out.
Wow! Okay, I'm not going that far.
I am.
The best soundtrack Disney's ever put out.
Yep.
Okay, so you think clearly it's overrated. Underrated.
It is so underrated. The movie itself is underrated. The characters are phenomenal.
It is beautiful.
The storyline is great. The soundtrack is stunningly beautiful.
I do agree with that.
Beginning to end. And I don't understand how it just sort of gets buried. It's so good.
You know what I think it is? I think that a lot of the Disney soundtrack, the songs that like do well, commercial successes, the songs people can sing along and hum along, they tend to be lighthearted, Hakuna Matata, you know what I mean? Like those kind of songs. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack to Hunchback, to me, feels more grown up, almost more theatrical Broadway than like animated kid family sing along.
It is harder to sing along with, but it's so good. It's so beautiful.
It really is.
And I adore it.
I do think it is the most beautiful Disney soundtrack. I will say beautiful
for
for
Christmas, you got me the vinyl of it. So I have it like on my iTunes, and I own the CD of it. And then I also have the vinyl because it's so pretty.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we both agree. Underrated.
Yep.
The next thing, the Disney fireworks. Now,
Disney fireworks.
Fireworks and Disney are tied together.
Yep.
Right? Whether it's experience at the parks, whether it's on the cruise, like Disney and fireworks go together like
Disney and fireworks.
Frozen and Overrated.
Oh boy.
Just kidding.
This one might surprise people as well. Mm-hmm. Where are we at on the fireworks?
Are we on the same?
We agree on this.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay, well I didn't know that because you knew my thoughts because I care about this.
We agree on this.
I actually think the Disney fireworks are underrated. Now, it's hard to underrate something because they're so iconic. And it's like, well, how could you underrate that? But here's my thing. We have seen fireworks on every one of our cruises. We have seen fireworks at almost all of our park experiences. Mm-hmm. And there has never been one time that I am not emotionally moved at that whole experience.
Right.
Whatever expectation, whatever past memory, whatever I go into a Disney fireworks experience with, it always makes me leave with this sense of wonder and awe and magic.
Yep.
It always
It's
exceeds.
the whole show. It's not just fireworks. It's the projections and the music that go along with the fireworks and the projections, and the whole thing is always amazing.
It's spectacular. And so Disney fireworks, to me, are underrated.
I agree.
I just think they're amazing.
I agree.
Next thing is a park. Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
You know, it's not necessarily, when people talk about Disney World, I feel largely they talk about Magic Kingdom, they talk about Epcot, and because of Star Wars now, they talk about Hollywood Studios.
Correct.
Or MGM.
We old.
We old. And Animal Kingdom kind of gets left a little bit behind.
A little bit.
What do you think?
I think it's underrated. To me, it is the most immersive park. Now,
Without a doubt.
I have not been to the Star Wars stuff. I have not been to Galaxy's Edge.
True.
You have.
Uh-huh.
So I can't speak into the immersiveness of that, but all of Animal Kingdom is so immersive. And that is one of the things that I love the most about it. I just feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm in Africa. I feel like I'm in India. Like I feel like it's just
Yeah. Wait.
the sights and the sounds and the smells and the everything. It just like puts you there.
I am completely in agreement. I think it's dramatically underrated. I in some ways understand why it is. It is very different than the other parks. But for all of the reasons you said, Animal Kingdom is very, very underrated to me.
Yeah.
In fact, if it was just Sherri and I, or if we were down there with like maybe Auburn or other friends, and we had one day at a park, I would recommend we did Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
If we were down there with people who had never done Disney before, I tend to recommend like Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom is kind of that iconic Disney park with the castle.
Yeah, if you've never done a park before, probably Magic Kingdom. But I really do love Animal Kingdom.
Love Animal Kingdom. I think it is very, very underrated. In fact, I was talking to somebody recently. They messaged us on Instagram, and they're like, "Hey, we have like they were doing like a week at Disney World, and asking about my thoughts on their itinerary." And they sent me their itinerary, and I was looking it over, and I was like, honestly, like I'm not a Disney World expert, you know, but here's just my thoughts. And they were visiting there were 3 of the parks except for Animal Kingdom, and I was just like, I just want to like let you know that the only feedback I have is I think that's a spectacular park.
Fit that one in.
Plus, I want to go and see Kite Tails because it looks so kitschy. It's jet skis and kites. That sounds like the greatest thing ever.
I don't understand.
I love it. I want to see Kite Tails so bad, you guys. Okay, this last one, we need to give credit to our friends.
So Auburn.
Yes.
And Deanna.
Yes.
They came up with this, and I completely agree.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Disney horses.
Disney horses.
Horses. What movie?
Sleepless in Seattle, obviously.
Very good.
Okay, we're not talking about that though. We're
Okay.
talking about Disney horses.
Sorry.
The Disney horse game is phenomenal.
And I didn't even think about this until they said it.
I didn't either, but it's true with Maximus and Samson and Khan, and I'm blanking on a bunch of the other ones, but like all the Disney horses are like sassy and like amazing sidekicks, and most of them don't speak. Like they don't actually say words.
Yet they still communicate a ton.
Yet you still know exactly what they're trying to say.
Amazing.
And I love it.
Disney's horse game. Underrated.
I agree.
It was so funny because when they said that, it was like, oh, completely. Absolutely. So
sass for days in those horses.
So there you go, you guys. That's our list. Those are our 15 questions. And here's what we want to know in the comments down below. What question made you leave and unsubscribe?
Hopefully none. Hopefully there's still a few people here.
I hope so. Hi, Mom.
I'm sorry if we offended people. Again, these are just our opinions. You are welcome to have a differing opinion. That's fine. These are just our thoughts on these ideas.
So friends, we love you guys. We want to know down below. Do you agree? Did you disagree? Tell us your answers.
Did we miss anything that's like severely overrated or underrated?
That great one. What's one thing you would like to know our opinion on that you think we missed?
Yeah.
Friends, we love you guys so stinking much. And we think you guys are very underrated.
That's true.
Aw. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next LeggLife video.